guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Katrie and this is Trying to Trim My TBR. So I have a little, this is what I've been liking to do here, is a little D&D dice and this little tray. And I'm just going to roll. This is my Trimming the TBR shelf down here. I also have a bunch of books over here that are kind of like on it, but I'm just like doing off of this right now. So I'm gonna roll this and see what numbers we get. So that is number 2. Oh my goodness, it's glaring. 1, 2, pretty easy. In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. That's gonna be interesting. I have read The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. That's the only book I've read by her. And I liked it okay. I didn't love it. Didn't hate it. It was just kind of like middle ground for me. So we'll see what this one's like. All right, and then 12, which means it's gonna be this one right in there, right? No, I did that completely wrong. Oh my gosh, why is this? Of course it's this one. This is Airframe by Michael Crichton. Michael Crichton is the author of Jurassic Park, which is one of my all-time favorite books. But have I gotten to this book? No, it scares me a little bit. So I feel like we have 2 books that kind of scare me a little bit. So how this goes is I will read the first chapter of both of these books, and if it does not interest me, if it does not catch my eye, I do not force myself to read it like I would normally do. I have a very hard time getting enough in books, so this is kind of to help me and to also whittle down my TBR. So I have to DNF and unhaul it if it does not interest me. Now I can continue reading if I'm a little bit intrigued. Normally what I say is I can go to about 1/4 of the way through, and if I'm still not intrigued, I'm still not that grasped in the story, then I absolutely have to set it down and unhaul it. So that's kind of like my last resort if I'm kind of like, but I feel like it's gonna get better. So yeah, let us go and see if these books are any good. All right guys, so I am going to go ahead and read the first chapter of In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware, and we will see how I like it from there. Okay, that was like a very short chapter. Okay, it had like a little prologue thing. It didn't say prologue, but it's basically a prologue. Had a prologue thing, page, and then chapter 1 was literally a page 2. So chapter 2 looks like it's actually more like a normal chapter. It looks about 11-12 pages. So I'll probably go ahead and read chapter 2 and see how it goes from there. All right guys, and then our other book for this video is Michael Crichton's Airframe. I love Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park. It's one of my favorite books, but I have not tried to read anything else by him. So I'm really interested to see how this one is, see it if it interests me, intrigues me, because I just kind of love dinosaurs, so I'm wondering if will I love his other stuff? I know he's pretty much primarily sci-fi though, so I'm interested. This one says 3 passengers are dead, 56 are injured, the interior cabin virtually destroyed, but the pilot manages to land the plane. At the moment when the issue of safety and death in the skies is paramount in the public mind, a lethal mid-air disaster aboard a commercial twin-jet airliner bound for Hong Kong to Denver triggers a pressured and frantic investigation. So this sounds interesting. I do not like flying. I flew for the first time this year. Did not like it still. So yeah, this will be interesting. A good pick for October too. I'm kind of like thinking I might read both of the books in our Trim the TBR series this week though. I don't know, we'll see. Let's get into reading this first chapter, so. Alright, so I read the first chapter here. It's not really like divided into chapters, which is interesting. It's more like a timeline, if you can see that. Same way that he did in Jurassic Park, we are like right off the bat just getting into it, and terror is starting immediately. So I like it. I like that it's starting off fast paced and like immediately getting into the nitty gritty of it all, just like Jurassic Park did. I'm a little interested to see, because this is like about like plane crash and like, or is it, I'm not sure if it's a plane crash or if it's just like plane malfunction to where it injures a bunch of people, but like I'm kind of interested to see how this goes for an entire book. We will see if I keep it up, but for right now I am going to continue to read with it. So all right guys, so I am back and we are at the end of the video. We're at the portion where I tell you, did I read either of these? Did I stop after the first chapter? Which one did I DNF? Did I read both of them? Or did I DNF both of them? Now is the time for you to make your final guesses, because I am about to tell you I read Airframe and I DNF'd In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth. So this was interesting because honestly, at the beginning of both of these, they both intrigued me. The prologue and the first chapter, this one was like intense and I was like, what's going on? I want to know. And this one started out like strong and immediate terror right away. So I was like, okay. Now I believe, I already pulled my what's it out, so I'm trying to think of where I was. I think I was at chapter 5 or 6 in this one when I stopped it. And I was not feeling this one. After the first, seriously, the prologue in the first chapter, and then it goes to boring, mundane life stuff. We get out of that. We have no idea what happened there. And then we're just talking about this girl. And now she's being invited to this hen party of this friend she hasn't known for forever, and there's some mystery around why they're not friends anymore, and she's wondering why she invited her to her hen party, and they kind of make some implications. There might have been something about a boy. I don't care. I do not have the brain capacity to care about this type of stuff anymore. Oh my gosh, I don't care about some so-and-so crazy who so-and-so got crazy about so-and-so stealing her boyfriend. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. If y'all have read this and I literally just explained the plot, then that goes to show you how predictable it is. Because I didn't read to the end. I have no idea if that's the plot. But I could be right on the money. I bet that I am somewhat close to begin with, because these are infuriating. I do not have the brain capacity to sit around and listen to a whole bunch of useless, dumb information of dumb characters to finally get to the thrilling part, being somebody going crazy over some guy or some cheating. It's like all these books are. And I was hoping this one was going to be different. I thought it was going to be more like in the woods, I don't know, serial killer type or whatever. Again, I don't read the synopsis to books, so that's a problem I need to work on, but I like going in blind, and this just was not, I wasn't feeling it. I was like, I'm not gonna spend a whole day or two trying to speed through this book of useless information to get to like the point of it. So I DNF'd this book, and I'm glad to get it off my shelf, but wow, this is okay. But I did read Airframe. Now, this is interesting because this is the first Michael Crichton book I've read outside of Jurassic Park and the second one, The Lost World, by Michael Crichton. I hadn't read anything else by him, so this is my first outside of that world, and Jurassic Park is one of my favorites. I'm not sure what The Lost World ranks on because honestly, I only read that once forever ago, and I don't know if I ever gave it a rating when I read it. Because I just got to be like that, apparently. So I'd like to reread that one and know where it falls. But I think this solidified the fact that I know I like Michael Crichton's writing. Like, I know he's a good thriller writer with the way he writes. He's very over-detailed, but it can honestly, like, be really cool and really awesome and add to the story, especially with the way he does it. This book in particular, Airframe, is about an accident, not like full-blood plane crash, but accident that happens in the air with an aircraft that injures a whole bunch of people and kills a few of them. And this book basically follows the the manufacturers of the plane, the people who made that aircraft, doing an investigation into it. And so you're trying to figure out this entire time what happened. Was it their fault? Was it faulty? You know, like, was it something they did or was it something else? And so I don't, you know, I'm not big into airplanes. I'm not like, oh, I want to know everything about them. So the over detailedness of like how a plane works is not really my cup of tea, not in the way of how interested I was in all the dinosaur stuff in Jurassic Park per se. But at the same time, I still wasn't like skimming over any of his long details, because it's just a certain way that he writes makes everything seem important, I guess, in a book. And while this one definitely didn't like intrigue or grasp me, or I didn't love it as much as Jurassic Park, I'm gonna settle at a 3.5 stars for this one, honestly. It still had me reading the whole time. I couldn't put it down. I wanted to know what happened. His writing, you know, style, I really enjoy. And even though I didn't like the informational stuff, or wasn't that interested, I should say, in the informational stuff in this book, the way he writes that informational stuff still like was good enough to where I read it. Like, I wasn't wanting to skim it or skip it. I wasn't wanting to really put it down. I wanted to know what happened. And I think the end was pretty good. I don't know if I'd say, like, I don't think it would be as good as like Jurassic Park ending type of thing. But I don't know. I think I do like Michael Crichton's writing. I think I probably just, in order to get more like 4 or 5 star reads on the realm of the Jurassic Park stuff, I would probably have to look for a specific book that is more in the realm of things I'm interested in, not so much aircraft stuff. But this was just one that my father had given to me, handed down to me or whatnot, quite a few years ago, probably like 7 or 8 years ago, and I hadn't gotten to. So I'm glad I've gotten to it now. And I do think it has helped solidify that I like his writing style and that he's a good like thriller writer with the way he writes. Because as we saw with this one, I could tell like this was going to be so much like all of the ones I've read before, and they're boring and they're annoying and there's way too much pages for absolutely nothing going on. And while I could say the same thing for him, like, oh my gosh, there's so many pages and there's not a lot going on, it's all this, it's the way he writes and the way it's put, it still keeps you interested. It still intrigues you. It's not a whole bunch of senseless dramatic crap. Excuse my language, but so yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think I chopped the right book? I mean, have you guys read this book? What do you guys think about it? Have you read this author before, Ruth Ware? I believe I have read one other book by her, and I think I liked it decently well, but I also think my taste have kind of changed a little bit, especially with thrillers, that I just, the whole psychological thrillers, I can't do it, guys. So let me know what you think down in the comments. And if you like this series that I do, give me a big thumbs up. And I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.